That jive-ass turkey better have my motherfucking butter. Every time you see me, I got Adidas on. But I still can check a bitch, so better watch your tone. I'm the original Brody, I'm the Tyrone they clone. Feeling tempted to roll it up and get in my zone. Rhythmic tones, frequencies hitting pyramid domes. Can lift up only through sound, and that's the shit that I'm on. Cryptic and shit in my prose, as I'm dignitizing a pro. A snake charmer, I'm told. But mine is errands, run some errands, ho go iron some clothes. Think it's a parent who's the parent, and I shine in my role. It's Adidaddy, la-di-daddy, I'm a party on my own. Top a hottie and she's acting naughty, she's up in the zone. I'm off some shotties and I'm talking potty, trying to get it on. If this was 1973, I would've put you on a stroll. In 1993, I would have you on the pole. But we've evolved, I like women with degrees and some goals. Getting Z's at a decent hour when she make it home. No disease, keep that pussy clean, take care of them toes. She getting money, so all this shit she can do it on her own. Hit the gym, take your medicine, do your yoga poses. Here's a way that you can eat to feel full and fit them clothes. Call me late so we can pray and search the scriptures to be whole. I'm a fiction in your life that's hard to replace when I'm gone. So weigh your words before you end up sitting waiting at the phone. Yeah, I'm patient, but the way I am, I'm living by a code. Let her know that dick ain't free, it costs a fee to get infold. Yeah, I need something to hold. What's the story you compose? I'ma flip it. Don't you sell that pussy, let's go open up a business. Think I'm kidding, most are amazed at degrees in which I'm bold. But bitch, gotta be patient, be honest, do what you told. I see the innocence within the darkness in your soul, and with privilege present you with the way that you can mold to our benefit, cause best believe not only for your own. I ain't limited by they doctrines on the ways that things should go. I would rather just be honest with the way that I propose. But when I touch your soul, everything I say is gold. Can't wipe if she ain't solid, if you got somewhere to go. Can't be rocking with a mold. Gotta know it's your role. Does she surrender and follow you even if she doesn't know? Is she swallowing the seed that you were dropping in a dome? Are you watering and anchoring that shit with every O? Classic conditions and thinking of ways to make the ship rose without contradicting the principles and ways that you've shown. Does she appreciate rewards you give for when she's hitting goals? Does she know and can articulate the program in our role? Does she eagerly anticipate the feeling of the pole? Does she turn into a little girl around you like she's home? Adidaddy got some game for you to take it to the hole. Coach Brody is the name, you gotta pay me.
When I wrote Adidaddy, a modern blaxploitation experience, I was self-reflecting, processing my first heartbreak as a 27-year-old man and dealing with imposter syndrome. So I wrote it as a song to remind myself of who I am, and as a reminder to myself and any other man that listens to me to let them nuts hang, right? Every word in that song came from real life experience, like all of my music. I was heavily inspired by Suede, by No Worries, For Free by Kendrick Lamar, Kimi Casanova by Akeem Ali, and wrote it to a beat I made for a woman who wrote a song about me to it. And she had gave me the original song to sample to make that beat. But she didn't want to release the song, so I wrote Adidaddy almost like a response to a song y'all would probably never get a chance to hear in its original form. Adidaddy has been a running joke with her and some of my friends for a while now. I believe in manifestation, so I've been practicing what it would be like to have an endorsement deal and the art of branding by wearing Adidas nearly every day for maybe the last 3 years. The Blaxploitation wasn't just about her, but about myself, being willing to sell and exploit my own pain and experiences in manipulative ways in my private life to tell a story and as a sense of cathartic release with the goal of financial gain. I haven't been in a monogamous relationship for years, but I definitely haven't been poly, at least not poly in the sense of the ethical non-monogamy community. I've been kicked off that subreddit on a couple of different occasions. I've always believed more in the concept of reciprocal analogies rather than in the idea of direct analogies and what's good for the goose is what's good for the gander. In my mind, if another man is in the picture, either it has to be a situation where I don't care because I don't care about you, or he's your main guy, i.e. taking up the majority of the responsibility involved with you, like emotionally, socially, financially, or I have to be able to benefit from him in some way to be willing to stick around. I think that's where the whole P mentality thing kind of comes from, right? I could be wrong, but I don't think that most dominant men will be cool with a woman they're loving, protecting, and providing for, or being a caregiver for, sleeping with other men or falling in love with other men. Not in sticking around. I don't think it's natural, unless that is a man who learns to sexualize being a stag, right? And being a swinger, or reclaiming the woman, or that woman has to be getting energy and resources from that other man that she is giving back to said man in her life, her primary partner. That's my personal opinion. And I think this is where pimping comes from. Maybe not its true origin, nor the most historically accurate, but psychologically. The trade-off of the woman having the freedom to be honest and walk in her shadow side, and the other side of that is being the man's, right? Recently, I listened to Iceberg Slim's first book on YouTube for the first time, and the thought processes and experiences that he had in his childhood reminded me a lot of my own. And it started to make sense why some people accuse me of having a P mentality. Although I've always denied it and never wanted to have a woman sell her body for me, but in its essence, in some ways, yes. My own mother was a madam, and for a while was addicted to drugs. But I too share experiences of witnessing a woman being unable to control her emotions and her attractions, and allowing that to outweigh logic to the point of choosing men in the streets over being a dutiful and dedicated mother, or of choosing the life of being a virtuous wife. She's since turned her life around and dedicated her life to God, and I'm very proud of her for it, and this is public information. But there's also no difference from that when it comes to Iceberg Slim's story. As a young man, when this enters your psyche, your first thought and reflex is to become a nice guy. As a young boy, you're stunted in your development, playing the role of caregiver for your mother, who is supposed to be a caregiver for you. If we're being honest, at times this becomes a symbiotically parasitic relationship of learning to subconsciously manipulate your mother through guilt to get things you want or need, because she couldn't fully be there in ways you needed her to be. But you can never fully hold the things that she did against her because you pedestalize her as your mother, and you can't fully be angry with her. So sometimes this gets projected onto other women. When you grow up this way, it doesn't take very long to realize that most women aren't attracted to this, right? So you go the other way and treat women the way the men who got better results did, peering into women's shadows, their psychology, seeing that desire to be sexually subjugated in every woman you come across, seeking to exploit that weakness for good dick, to exploit that weakness for a man who's in a position of power and control. I've learned to lean into negative things people say about me and embrace it rather than trying to explain why they're wrong, because 9 out of 10, they won't listen and understand unless they want to, or they have already been there. In the song, I was really talking about my experience as a daddy dom with the degradation kink, and mixed it with my love for Blaxploitation through a little P vernacular, right? I thought that was clever. But there was frustration in my voice. Why? Because being a daddy dom was more of a compromise from what I really wanted. One thing I've believed for a long time is that there's a little narcissism in codependency, and a little codependency within narcissism, just like a yin-yang symbol. In BDSM, being a daddy dom comes with a strong inclination towards being a caregiver and enjoying the power exchange of holding your partner accountable to not only the things they do to please you, but also to pursuing their own goals and growth. And sometimes being a caregiver, as a man dealing with women in their nature, at times this can bring out a desire to exploit this desire, or a reflex or a defense mechanism to exploit this desire to be a caregiver. So sometimes this brings out another side of you. Once you include a degradation kink and financial domination into the mix of being a daddy dom, especially if free use is incorporated in the mix, then it gets closer and closer to what being a P is, especially when you have the knowledge and the understanding how someone's psychology works, right? What if a P is someone who has the same hurts and ego as the average man, but through trauma, learning to choose resources and control over a woman in exchange for safety and freedom to tap into her own shadow and the freedom to tap into his own? This is the story behind Adidaddy. a modern Blaxploitation experience. And y'all be on the lookout for my project coming soon called Young Niggas, A Tale of Sexual Shadow Work, right? Young Niggas it's a play on words because I believe in like a mixture of interpreting a lot of different biblical scriptures through the lens of Jungian psychology, right? Think about Romans 7:15. The things I don't want to do, I do. The things I want to do, I don't do. When I do good, evil is always present. When I do evil, good is always present. And this always resonated with me in the concept of integrating the shadow. So Young Negus is like JUNGNEGUS, and NEGUS is like Black King, right? Because I'm a man who believes in my Israelite heritage. I'm a Black man, and I'm also a man who loves my culture. I love my people as a Black man, and I also am someone who is a young nigga, right? I don't shy away from different stereotypes. I don't shy away from expressing myself in a way that other people may deem as unintelligent, but it's oftentimes going to be something that has more intelligent things behind it, right? And with these more intelligent things that are behind it, it's something important to understand is that there's a lot of esotericism within this project. There's a lot of different things within this project that are sharing my own experiences, sharing my own tale of sexual shadow work, right? It includes the relationship I was talking about in this song. It includes situations I've had with other women throughout the years, my own spiritual journey from the time that I stopped believing that premarital sex was a sin in biblical interpretation, and a lot of other things that went along with that. So this is Coach Brody. Thank y'all for helping me get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm very much looking forward to this next journey in my life and pursuing this music, doing these different things that I do. I love y'all. I'm out.